I had a nurse actually at my doctor's office come up to me and she said, I've always wanted to say something to you, Ms. Wilson, and, didn't quite know how to do it, but I'm just going to bravely say I was stuck for a minute. I didn't quite know what it was that I wanted to do with my life. I was sitting on the couch and I was watching Grey's and I saw your face and I saw your image and I said, what am I doing sitting on this couch? And she got up and she took herself to nursing school and now she was, vying for head nurse basically at the clinic. And I take that with such honor because if that's what we're putting out there, if people are saying, if people are turning inwards at all and getting any kind of inspiration for what they're seeing on a television show, then that's a great contribution from television, and we appreciate being a part of that movement. Grey's Anatomy has given me personally the opportunity to have a door opened into directing for series television. I never thought that that was possible. I never even imagined it, maybe for theater, but not for television. And now I'm 17 episodes in now of having directed for Grey's, and I was given the opportunity to direct an episode about cyclic vomiting syndrome, which is something that my oldest daughter suffers from, and we were able to cater an episode to putting that word, putting that name out into the world so that people could hear it and people could say, oh my goodness, that's me. And still today, we get either calls or emails or somebody somewhere has rediscovered the episode and said, that's what's going on with my kid. So I really appreciate that. And then my fan out moment was when Natalie Cole did an episode and nobody told me that she was the one that had been hired, and I was brought into the hair and makeup trailer because I was just a huge Natalie Cole fan, and I walk in and she's sitting there in the hair chair and I just started crying. I had no English language whatsoever. I probably made an absolute fool of myself. I think she looked at me like I was crazy, but I just completely fanned out because I was not expecting Natalie Cole to be sitting in the makeup chair. The thing that I get the biggest kick out of about having this resurgence in a way of the show, we've always kind of ridden waves. We rode the DVD wave and then the DVR wave and then the cable wave, and so now we're into the social media wave. So what I enjoy is that folks that have come to the show later, maybe been here 6 years or 5 years, 7 years, get to feel like rock stars sometimes because the kids, they come up to us like, we just did those episodes the day before yesterday, and it was a while ago. So I enjoy seeing their faces and that they get a chance to have the fun that we got to have in season 2 and season 3 and season 4 back when we were rock stars. So it's very fun. That's really what this 300th episode is about, honoring the show, honoring the history of the show. And as always, we love to honor our fans. And so there'll be some throwback things in there that I can't tell you anything about. I don't know, may have something to do with some music. Can't tell you anything about that either. But it's we historically have always carried the past with us, season after season. We don't ever close the door on whatever has happened before. We appreciate everything that came before is what got us to where we are today. And it's the same thing that our characters are experiencing. Big picture-wise, I love the historical significance of that. As, an actor pounding the pavement in New York or, going back and forth to LA, basically you just want a job, right? Or you want a pilot. So, or, let it go a season or two. 14 seasons is something that you can't even imagine. So each season that goes by, I really enjoy the history that this is setting up, and all of the other actors that watch and say, I think that's the kind of thing that I want to do. Because I remember watching actresses like Essie Pathan-Murkison doing Law and Order for all those years, but then doing Broadway at the same time. And I'm like, okay, one thing helps the other thing, and that's a career. So I think that's what I enjoy the most about what's happening personally, anyway.
Today we're celebrating the 300th episode of Grey's Anatomy. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it's a pretty momentous occasion here. We'll have a little cake cutting ceremony this afternoon, some lunch with cast and crew, and and celebrate a milestone. I think it's a testimony actually to the staying power of the storytelling that the fans over these past 14 seasons have wanted to take this journey with these characters and these storylines and follow it through from the beginning back in '05 to where we are now, and to Shonda Rhimes and her brilliant foresight and kind of wanting to change the landscape. I don't know if that was her intention, but she wound up doing that. The landscape of how we view TV, in terms of diversity and gender equality. I think she's been at the forefront of ushering that new kind of that paradigm in terms of how we watch television. Kind of a look back and an homage to the past and to those the characters who came through at the beginning and who were such a vital part of making the show what it was. And I don't think it would have been what it was had it not been for this array of wonderful characters and the storylines that were attached to them and the way that they were able to express those and make it clear and in a way that propelled us to where we are now. Fans and viewers still want to be told a story. They want to see a beginning, a middle, and an end. They want to take a journey with a character. We've been able to show these people as they travel the arc of their lives and they navigate how it gets tricky and a little murky. We've seen them when they have been ugly, and we've seen them be heroic. But all along they've told a story of how people deal in circumstances in a high pressure environment such as that of a large metropolitan hospital where life and death hangs in the balance every week. But also it juxtaposes the lives of these people, and they kind of almost parallel in a sense. And I think that's been the fascination with these audiences for 14 seasons. They want to see how that plays out. They want to take that journey and see what's on the other side of that. I think that's what's been appealing. And it has been for all great shows in the past that have had longevity, is the fact that audiences really have identified with those stories and those characters, and they want to take that ride with them. That's the one thing that I think has been most gratifying for me is I can't count how often I run into a young person who said, I've decided to go into medicine because of your show, or whether it be male or female, and it seems to happen all the time that we've become an inspiration for them. And at our very core, that we're a medical show. You see these people day in and day out plying their trade, which is saving lives and trying to give a better quality of life. And with that, you see who they are inside, these doctors. And yeah, it's resonated quite effectively with a lot of folks over the years, a lot of young people who said, this is the profession I want to go into, and have become doctors during the run of our show, from when we, our first, second season, and now, they come back and say, I'm now practicing, and it was because of your show. So that's been pretty gratifying.